Alright, what's up everyone? This is profGRob. I'm here watching this anime called Lucky Star. It's so I have no schema on it. I know nothing about what I'm getting into. But I'm like 8 minutes into the first episode, and so far it has been nothing but three moe girls talking about how they like to eat their food. And I mean nothing but how they like to eat their food. They dissect the different ways that you could eat cream puffs or other different kinds of foods, curry, rice, all that goodness. And it's been nothing but that. And I was about 4 minutes into it, and I'm like, wow, they've spent a lot of time talking about this food. I don't even know the characters' names. They've probably said them offhand, but like, I feel like ordinarily that'd be hammered into me a little more. So we're almost halfway through this first episode, and I'm starting to wonder if this show is nothing but moe girls sitting in a cafeteria talking about food that they're eating. And I'm honestly hoping that that's what it is. That's not what it is, I'm almost certain. I mean, I know nothing about it, but I can't imagine that something like that could be done for an entire season. I'm imagining it being done for an entire season, and I'm loving it. So, I will let you know if it turns out that I was right. And if it turns out that I was wrong, I'm just going to post this and not have any follow up to it. So, enjoy, and goodbye. Alright, this is Prof's Log, Chapter 2. Um, so, I was kind of wrong and kind of right. It's weird. There's no plot, as far as I can tell. I'm another third of the way through the episode, and so far, the only plot is this girl is sick. There's a sick girl. You can't see her on screen right now, but she's to the bottom left of pink hair over there. And so far, the meat of this show, think of that Shakespeare quote: "A play is just life with the boring bits cut out." Well, Lucky Star, from what I'm gathering, is life but with the exciting parts cut out, and then the boring parts spruced up to be a lot more pleasant and enjoyable. Like, nothing of substance has happened so far. At the same time, I can't help but want to just sit in the room with these characters and listen to them talk. You know? It's weird, it's bizarre, I don't know how I feel. I'll let you know at the end of the episode what I think. Okay, it's been maybe 2 minutes, maybe less, since my last little check-in. Um, I'm kind of lost in the conversation. My brain has started to turn off a little bit. Somehow their conversation has gone from blue-haired girl beating the shit out of some asshole who is picking on short-haired purple girl, and then suddenly the guy was a tourist or something. I'm guessing there was a joke there that I just barely missed because I was sort of spacing out. And now they're talking about a baseball game. I don't know if there was even an organic transition between one of those things and another. I was just sort of spacing out for what felt like less than a second, just looking at this little statue I have of an egg on my whatever this thing is that I have right next to me. So I'm looking at the statue of an egg, and suddenly I realize I've missed what must have been some crucial transitory period. So now I'm lost in this labyrinth that is Lucky Star, and I'll let you know when I find my way out. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. I gotta record this really quick before I pass out. I just got hit by the hugest wave of exhaustion after finishing this episode. It, I've had like a good 2 seconds to think about it. I'm gonna give you a quick recap of what I just went through. So, fuck man, I'm kinda starting to forget the episode. That's weird. I don't know if that means that this is. I enjoyed it. That's the one thing that I can say for a fact happened is I enjoyed my time watching this anime. That being said, I'm still not entirely sure that anything happened. After that whole affair where they were talking about that whole story about a girl beating up a foreigner or whatever, um later on they meet some other girl or something. I feel like I knew the answer to the question I'm asking myself just 2 seconds ago, but now I don't know it anymore. It's like I'm falling into the void. I'm losing. I. It's like death. It's like I'm supposed to be alive, but I'm dying. I'm supposed to be awake right now, but I'm falling asleep. I'm falling asleep as I stand at the microphone. Please, someone help me. This is a cry for help. But no, really though. What the fuck just happened? Lucky Star, right? So we talked to that girl at the cafe table, the cafeteria, and they're doing their thing, and it was just a lot of nothing. Nothing of substance happened. So I feel like I can't say anything. But after that, we watched what seemed to be some kind of. I thought at first it was like a school sponsored television show or something, or it's kind of like the thing that happens at the end of every Kill a Kill, or maybe they did in other anime too. I mean, I'm not experienced enough to say, but they had like two characters who I've never seen before, talking to each other, but they weren't even talking about anything related to the episode. Whereas in Kill la Kill, it was sort of like a meta thing. But here it was just some character we've never heard of, some idol who who was like super cheery, and she's drawn to reflect that. And there's this like total suit sitting there next to her, and he's all stiff and nervous and stuff. And then he reads some fan mail, and the fan mail asks her, "How much money do you make?" And suddenly it the cute anime girl suddenly turns into that gun girl from Black Lagoon. Her cheekbones and dent, her eyes get darker. She becomes a little more real. Her hair is less luscious, and her voice gets gravelier. And she's like, "Oh shit, man! I just finished smoking a 6 pack. Now let me tell you about how much money I make. I make nothing. The money that I do make goes to my parents' bank account because I started working before I was 18." And then she starts complaining about her living situation and shit. And so it was funny. I wasn't bored at any point during this. It was oddly reminiscent of shows that you watch on when you're like a little fucking kid and there's no real plot. It's just a bunch of craziness happening everywhere. But it's the opposite. I'm not being overwhelmed by craziness. I'm being overwhelmed by mundanity. Nothing happened. I just sat at a cafeteria table, and I sat in a girl's bedroom while her friend visited her. And then I sat in a recording studio watching them record a fucking news thing. I was just sitting here. I feel. You know what I think? So you know how most shows, they have like every episode has a beginning, middle, and end, right? They have a setup to a conflict, the yada yada yada, and then the resolution of the conflict, and then the 10 seconds of everyone laughing, and the freeze frame, and then the credits. That's every episode for a lot of shows, and other shows have have that structure, but combine that with every episode is building up to something else, and then there's like a big season finale or something, and then maybe there's an episode after the finale where they like wrap up, and it's like the end of a Phoenix Wright game where the soft music plays, and it means, oh no, I'm saying goodbye to the world now. All these characters are moving on with their lives. Yada yada. Yeah, so that's another kind of thing. But I feel like this is a long-term plot, but with no episodicness to it, meaning that I am not watching things build up to one another. I'm watching a single episode, but you just put it in Sony Vegas and you shift clicked, stretched it to be in a season long. So far, this one episode felt like the first 4 minutes to a single episode of something. And I'm not upset by that. Honestly, I enjoyed it. It was a good experience. When I'm more awake, I'm gonna do some research, analyze this first episode, and let you know what I think of Lucky Star before I binge the entire series. And then maybe I'll do some kind of analysis. I wasn't recording this to make a video or anything, honestly, but now that I'm thinking, or as I was thinking before I started recording this little portion of it, maybe I'm gonna make this its own little series of like every time I'm starting a new anime, um, I'll just shit. I worked really hard to teach myself not to go by the way, but here I am going like a motherfucker. So, what am I trying to say? Okay, yeah, I'm going to make a series, and it's not going to have a regular release schedule because, first of all, I'm unreliable when it comes to that. But more importantly, this is only going to happen when I'm watching a new anime, and by new, it's something everyone else in the world has probably already seen. But I'm just getting into anime, so this is the only time where I'll ever be able to capture my first thoughts about these things. This is my first time seeing Lucky Star. My only experience with Lucky Star up until now was something by Jubyphonic, I believe, where she did not Jubyphonic, maybe Raichi. Someone did a cover of the intro song. I'm so glad I got to hear the real intro song though, because it is so different from whoever did it. Anyway, I'll see you in what will be like 2 seconds for you, but for me it's going to be at least 8 hours, probably more, because the moment I wake up, I'm going to have to go take care of plants or drive someone somewhere, or tomorrow is Mother's Day, or today was Mother's Day, I don't even know. But whatever the case, I'll see you in just a few seconds. Okay, I am so sorry everyone, this is post-editing profGRob. Just wanted to let you know that my idea for what I'm going to do with this series is every time I'm starting a new anime, I'll do a sort of recording log of my thoughts about it as I'm watching the first episode, just to let you know what I'm thinking of it. And then after having watched the first episode, I'll do a basic look at what the show is, from what I've been able to gather from that first episode and from doing the most basic of background check on it to get a good idea of it. And then once I've done all that, I'll share it with you at the end of the video and tell you whether or not I would recommend this anime for someone to watch and whether or not I'll be finishing the anime. So with that said, we're going to carry on to the final portion of this video. Alright, what is up everyone? It's Prof from 5 a.m. the following day, and it was 1 a.m. during my last couple recordings, so it's been about 24 hours, a little more than that, and I did a quick little search on my anime list to get to know the basics, and I only had to read a paragraph to see that not only was I just about spot on with my initial with the jokes I made about Lucky Star just being a show where cute anime girls sit and talk about how they like to eat their food. That is essentially what this show is. So if you're not going to enjoy listening to the most banal conversations with a cartoonish little character muddled in there, then Lucky Star isn't the show for you. But for me, this is going to be a great thing. So I'll see you guys next time I'm starting a new anime. It's probably going to be Madoka or something like that. So, see you next time.